Hello, everybody, and welcome to It All Goes Back to Sonic. My name is MegaFire. I am once again, as always, joined by my co-hosts, Dorko for You, Bob Hood, and Harvek. And today, we're going to be going through Sonic the Hedgehog 126 through 130. Which is sort of an in-between of the conclusion of the big alien war in the last set of comics to the sort of restart of the status quo of the next set, I guess. The next arc, saga, what have you. Yeah, so let's... how we feeling? How we doing today?
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of Sonic the Hedgehog flying around randomly.
That's a pretty good summary of the situation of this next few comics, yeah. Bob, you were saying? Sorry.
How are we feeling now? Well, before we started doing this, one of my Oshis announced she is graduating, but also Mariamon came up. So, ups and downs.
yeah, exactly. There's so couple weeks between our recordings, so Gargura's going, but Mariomon came in on the scene, so that instantly balanced out the karma. And then we had Sonic in between all of that.
I got a shiny.
Yeah, that's right. He did get a shiny. Of all my friends get shinies, but me.
It's gonna happen. You're next.
I hope so. Darko?
This is a pretty good session. I like these comics.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited to hear. I was actually kind of worried a little bit because when I was thinking about it, I was reading it. I'm like, I wonder what the others would think about these. Like, I was fairly happy with them, but I'm also like, I'm not a good judge of character, I guess, when it comes to this comic because I like everything until I've been getting more critical. I've been doing better. I'm healing. But I guess let's just kick it with 126. Bob, let's hear the summary.
Sonic has landed on a planet for ants. He runs away from the ants until suddenly an earthquake happens. The ants are under attack by wasps called the Buzz, but Sonic defeats the wasps. Then the ants thank Sonic by offering them a new home and guide him around the planet. Sonic finds a statue of an ant which holds 6 red Chaos Emeralds. Mysterious. Later, the Buzz return with the Queen and they attack. Sonic uses the red Chaos Emeralds to try to become Supersonic. Instead, this creates a clone of Supersonic who proceeds to go mad and attack both the Buzz and the ants. So the clone leaves the now-level city and Sonic gives chase. Sonic fights his clone to stop him from causing chaos across space. But just before the bad Sonic lands the finishing blow, he dissipates because he runs out of energy. Then we get a side story. This stars the editor, Justin Gabry, and right away he and Sonic notice that their words, Sonic's color, and then the panel walls start vanishing. This is the work of a time manipulator named Deadline, the manifestation of deadlines. He torments the others using his powers to erase and rewrite space-time and gives us his villain backstory, in which all his bad story ideas were rejected by the writers. Justin subdues Deadline by name-dropping every person who's worked on the comic, which causes him to incinerate and burst into flames. The end.
They really had nothing. They were like, we gotta fill this the shit. We got like 15 pages left to fill, guys. What do we do? Not 15. That's not right. That was like 5 or 6 or something. Well, I'm gonna start with the fact that this issue starts with a real banger piece. It's like constant where I'm like, oh, this is another J Axer piece. This looks so cool. I love this. But it's like, I don't know. I really like those ant guys. They're cute. I can't believe Sonic ended up on Geonosis.
I understood that reference.
I didn't.
I didn't.
It's Star Wars. Don't worry about it.
There's probably like 50 Star Wars and Star Trek references in these next 5 issues, but I didn't pick up on any of them.
I hope so, because I didn't pick up on any of them. I was like, oh, I hope Harvek has this. Like, I don't know. I was looking around and I was like, I don't know, maybe these are too deep for me.
I caught kind of an homage, but it wasn't to Star Trek or Star Wars.
I'm excited.
I'll bring it up when we get there, but it's not for a couple issues.
Okay. One thing that I do have to say is like, did all that I thought about while I was reading this is like, this is just like ants with a Z. I mean, you got the oppressed ant people who are under attack by the weird bee/cricket people. I guess they're bees.
No, that's Bug's Life.
No, that's ants.
I never watched
it's
Ants.
Bug's
I
Life.
saw ants.
You're right. It is Bug's Life.
I saw ants as a kid and I don't remember anything about it. It must have been
I remember the shoe stepping on the ants and they're like trying to crawl around to live.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, remember? Okay, I wrote this note down because I was like, hey, do you guys remember how I mentioned that whole thing about keeping in mind the emerald's color and why there was multiple green emeralds?
Yeah.
Yeah, here we are. We're finally here. I can reference that note back from like episode, I think it was like 11 or something. I didn't check myself. I know it was back then in that first batch of episodes. But yeah, here we are. This is the beginning of why there's multiple emerald colors, or at least this is how they're trying to rationalize it.
Why are there only 6?
There have been 6 emeralds instead of 7, because wasn't it Sonic 2 that there was only 6?
There was Sonic 1.
Sonic 1, yeah. So I think
Now,
they were just going with that the whole time.
I remember when Sonic went Super for the first time, he had 7 emeralds and 50 rings.
Did he have 7? I think he had 6 and 50 rings.
I'm fairly sure it was 7. That was so long ago now, I don't want to double check. Just
I was
believe
like,
me. Wink.
Yeah, just trust me.
I want to say it was 7, but...
I feel like checking in on the like probably the wiki for this would give me the answer, but I didn't bother because I was so confident that there was 6 emeralds.
So confident in such a detail.
Yeah, well now I'm not so confident no more.
Oh, here we go. Hang on.
Oh, you got it?
Going back right now. Let me see.
Yeah, I feel like I had it in my notes because I had this explicitly written down to remember.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, well, fuck, dude, you got me.
Issue 4. Luckily, I was recently able to collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds along with 50 rings.
Oh, shit. All right, well, there we go. All right, you got me.
I remember sometimes.
That's good.
That could be vital history I should know or something, but no. It's Sonic the Hedgehog comic information.
You know what? You're right. I just double-checked my notes as well. My notes didn't say anything about the number. But yeah, so there's different... The colors are the thing here.
Now, they were all green in that comic, though, so that's still correct right now.
Yeah. And they were green every other time, I think, that he used it.
Yes.
So... Yeah, I don't know why they settled on 6 in this one. Because, yeah, that's weird.
Maybe Space has only 6. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know where this is building up to, so it's like, why would the red emeralds necessarily have to be 7? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, so here's what this is like a Mobius. When I absorb the power of 6 green emeralds, I transform into Supersonic. 6 red ones should do the same, right? Is what Sonic says.
Maybe this is a bit of a fuck up then. I don't know.
This is building up to something. Not the number, but the colors.
Maybe he just had 1 extra that first time.
It was an accident.
I just found this at my house.
Maybe Sonic also can't remember how many emeralds there are.
I love when he turns into Supersonic with the red emeralds, and then it like finishes the whole battle scene, and then it goes back, and it's Sonic staring at Sonic, and he's just like, and I'm just like me versus the person she tells me not to worry about.
Is this a reference to like the Fleetway Supersonic?
I have no idea if it specifically is, but I mean, it's...
Because I can't really think of any other time Supersonic is explicitly like a bad guy.
It definitely feels like a reference. Just the concept is so identical.
I didn't know that like the crazy supersonic was a Fleetway thing, so I wasn't sure if what we just saw was going to lead into that or something.
Yeah, it's a Fleetway thing.
Yeah, it is a Fleetway thing. So I have heard this before. I didn't want to bring it up because I don't remember if it was ever confirmed or if like people looked into it or whatever. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there was ever like a confirmed. This was an homage to the Fleetway, but it definitely makes sense. Because it's actually on the Sonic Archie fandom wiki thingy. It was like one of the things was like, oh yeah, this is a story about evil Supersonic, separate from himself, just like Fleetway's continuity. But it was only ever like a likely to be thing. Oh, there is something about this comic I do know, which was told to me actually not too long ago. Which was something about the Red Emeralds being similar to Red Kryptonite from Superman. I think one of the movies, the third one or the second one. And it also features a story where Superman becomes separate from Clark Kent and is like evil, an evil Superman identity. Yeah, I think that was Superman 3. And it was like black and red kryptonite, and it was like the similar story. So this may have been influenced by that as well.
We should have had Supersonic doing this then.
Drinking a shot?
Hell yeah.
I never watched Superman 3, but I guess that happened.
It's been literally
for the listeners
2 decades for me.
For the listeners, I've just linked a GIF from Superman 3 where Superman is downing shots.
Yeah.
He puts the bottle down like he's so grumpy or something.
He's evil.
He's evil. He's angry. There's a fight scene after this between Superman and Clark Kent. It goes about as well as you think.
Yeah, this was a fun one. I mean, it was kind of funny because it's sort of like it really feels like they could have just not done that second story and maybe given a little bit more to the ant people, but it was kind of like these set of comics really feel like Sonic around the world in 60 seconds, or around the cosmos in 60 seconds, which is kind of funny in some ways. But yeah, I thought it was a fun little adventure. Probably not my favorite one just because of how rushed things were, but I do like the little evil Supersonic thing.
Kind of messed up how evil Supersonic just kind of comes into existence, runs out of rings, he's fucking dead. He's gone.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. He was a centrist anyway. He's like, there is no good or evil. There is only power. Let me blow up the moon.
No one would ever do that.
Yeah, that's never happened before in the Sonic continuity.
Shifty eyes.
All right, I guess that's all I've got on this one. If we're ready to move on to 127,
I'll just say I really do not like or care for the last story, because there's been so many of these. They call them off panels, but they're like gag comics at the end of the issue, and a lot of them are just like, "Oh, it's me, the editor." I think they suck. It's fucking terrible. So the fact that we got like an expanded story was like, oh. This was the worst story of the set for me.
The single fucking off panel enjoyer just thriving.
Yeah, I just skipped past it. I didn't even read it.
Yeah, there's a reason I don't bring up the off panels that often is because they're mostly like schlock. It's whatever.
It'll be nice when we finally get to the era of good off panels.
Yeah. I don't remember ever having a sharp change, even with Ian Flynn's stuff, but
can't wait for the.
What do you mean? I know there's a sharp change because I know one of the crossover ones with the gag of Metal Big the Cat was amazing. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't remember. I forgot about that. There's more than just Metal Big the Cat. There's like over 100-something issues. Come on, give me a break.
Listen, MegaFire. You don't get the right to diss off panel until you've read the Mega Man comics Lion King parody with the Lion Man.
Okay, well, I do vaguely remember that. Okay, well, we're gonna get there at some point. 127.
So fucking ready.
127.
We're getting there. We're almost here.
Yeah, oh boy. Sonic continues his quest across space and meets the Denovulans, who implant Sonic with a device to auto-translate any language he may come across to the one he can understand. Suddenly a star explodes, causing a bunch of debris to strike their spaceship. So all the Star Trek aliens and Sonic proceed to escape pods. However, they're a single pod short to let everyone out. Sonic tries to be a hero and let Captain O take the last pod, but the captain uses a stinger to paralyze Sonic in order to force him inside the pod and let him leave instead. Sonic's pod eventually lands on some planet, and the pod advises him to stay inside due to the environment being too toxic. So Sonic takes a nap and decides his way out his distress signal. And some time later, Sonic is able to safely step outside into an atmosphere that evolves rapidly. So just to be safe, Sonic returns to the pod, takes an hour nap. He wakes up and finds the world achieved civilization while he slept and continues to rapidly grow. The people invented a device to slow down time in order to communicate with their Sonic God, who they discovered more like God while he slept for 1 hour inside the pod. Sonic explains he's just trying to get home, so they turn the planet speed back on to make him a space vessel rapidly, and he leaves. Somebody linked a panel with Sonic's one eye. It's just one eye. He looks like a robot.
Island.
He looks like that Sonic robot from 3.
Man,
I don't know.
it's so jarring going back to Ron Lim's art after every other art. Oh.
Mecha Sonic be like, I sleep now!
Sleep mode activate.
Also, before we get carried away, there was a side story. This side story is a parody of the Spy vs. Spy gag comics that show up in the Mad magazine.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Spy Sonic and Spy Knuckles kill each other, and then Eggman kills them both. The two team up to chase Eggman into the Shadow Zone to beat Eggman, only to realize they took down a copy of Eggman developed by Spy Shadow the Hedgehog, who zaps them both.
I did like that last joke of Shadow Spy.
It's the Spy Shadow the Hedgehog.
I think these two panels were probably my favorite, or like these two bits were probably my favorite, which is opening up Ivo's wax museum, and then it just whack. He comes. I don't know. It's stupid. It's funny though.
They walk when they were walking into the Shadow Zone. I was like, wouldn't it be funny if a Spy Shadow the Hedgehog showed up and then
he did.
I think this is a tribute to maybe the original Spy vs. Spy artist or creator. It says at the end,
Yes.
to the memory of, yeah.
Yes, it is Antonio Prohijas. I wrote that down on my notes. It was a tribute to him, and the reason is because both Mike Gallagher and Dave Manick worked on Spy vs. Spy for Mad.
Makes sense.
So right at home with these.
So this would have confused the hell out of like kids back in the day, probably. They're like,
know, yeah.
why are Sonic and Knuckles wearing these weird outfits? What's going on? Oh my god, Shadow the Hedgehog!
I feel like Mad was popular with kids back then. I don't know for sure. I wasn't into Mad personally, but I know that kids at school would have magazines of it back in elementary and like middle school.
Perhaps. I don't know. I wasn't there. I mean, I was, but I wasn't.
Yeah, you were in like middle school, high school.
I was there, but I still didn't know what a comic book was. Well, I did, but I didn't have any.
Fair enough. I didn't either. I just knew those magazines existed. Oh, Captain O. The fun fact about that one, it's actually the name is a play on the name of Captain EO or AO, Michael Jackson's character in the Disney attraction, that light show that was in the 1980s. Whatever it was called, but yeah. Also,
that was me driving away. Sorry.
Yeah. There's something I can never get over people's heads in the sky it's just so funny seeing the evolution of these people with Sonic's head in the background as the first page.
wait, yeah, this is actually really funny out of context.
It's just so good. My first note of this comic was Ron Lim ellipses. I can't believe that the captain sacrificed his life after like 1 hour of knowing Sonic the Hedgehog.
I forgot about this, so when Bob was doing the summary, like, I momentarily was like, is he reading like a later story? I'm like, oh wait, no, this plot point just happened more than once this session.
Yeah. People love Sonic the Hedgehog. They will die for him. Whoa! Single eyelid. Single eye.
Sonic's mouth is both escaping upwards and downwards.
I just... Yeah. His eyes. Oh, he's melting. I really... Oh, I will say one thing I really enjoyed about this issue. I love the concept of it. Like, of this rapid evolution, or like this world that's like in a rapid time like loop. Making Sonic their god because he's been there since the beginning. I think it's a really neat concept. Again, the story was really kind of quick, but it was fun. I liked the concept a lot.
I think it was kind of cool, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really have a lot to say about this one. So if we wanted to move on to 128,
Yeah, I got nothing, to be honest.
We're really jamming along.
All right, 128.
Yeah.
As Sonic flies his new vessel across space, he meets a space crew commanded by Bagbar Breeblebronx. Sonic explains he's looking to make a stop at an advanced civilization named Terragosa 6, but all he sees is asteroids. And the commander reveals this world was blown up by Eve, the same Eve from early in the comic created by Robotnik, who was convinced to travel into space by Sonic. Yeah, that one. Having realized that Sonic is the one who sent Eve off, the commander tells his gang to capture Sonic to avenge all the worlds she destroyed. Sonic escapes to his spaceship and tries to find Eve before she can cause more trouble. He does find her, but is unable to show up to her in time before she can meet the planet. Then the Starmada, the gang is called the Starmada, by the way, shows up and attacks her, and she just shrugs it off. They die, and Sonic gets angry and proceeds to attack by ramming his ship directly into Eve, but strangely he just warps inside. Sonic gets into a spacesuit, looks around the ship, and finds what appears to be Sally, but is actually just Eve's hologram. Sonic fights his way through the ship and finally meets Eve in person. And my notes forget a detail where Sonic realizes Eve wasn't initially causing trouble, so everyone else is just wailing, trying to kill her, and she fought back, blah, blah, blah. But then Sonic gives Eve a life lesson that destroying planets is bad, and so Eve tells Sonic to find Reroll to continue your quest to go back home. The end.
I think you missed a key point there where Sonic says destroying planets is bad, and Eve is like, oh shit, you're right, I guess I'll kill myself.
So
she says that she's going to program herself to run into the next nearest star.
Yeah.
Did Eve always look like Captain N, Other Brain?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I linked that is her earliest iteration. Is the
okay.
weird, yeah.
Just double checking. All right.
I never knew about that, actually. I wonder if that's actually what she's based on.
I don't know if this is a direct reference or not, but I got big Transformers 86 vibes during the destruction of Xenocarnus Prime.
Is there a particular thing about it?
I don't know. I just got like big Unicron blowing up the planet at the beginning of the movie.
You know, you're right. Actually, it does. Now that you've said it, it does kind of evoke those thoughts.
I don't know if it's direct or not, but it has that feel of like the innocent aliens just being, they can't do anything but just watch.
These alien designs are so freaking cool. What they went so hard to design these weird ass guys.
The big tooth guy actually got a second gig after this. He's the alien in Space Jam.
Yeah, okay, my brain also went there.
Well, I
Jay
guess
Axer
it
put a
was
spread.
before.
Yeah, was this before? This is 19... No, this is 2000... I think 2002.
Well, then yes, because Space
2003.
Jam was in the 90s.
Yeah, so this is after then. So he got the gig from after that.
Yeah, good to see him still getting work. Good job, Danny DeVito.
I didn't.
Some of these top right guys, just Jack from Jack and Dexter.
I never really sat down and appreciated how detailed they went in some of these designs that will show up once and probably never again.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
barely showed up and then they died. So, like, unless I'm forgetting someone, like, this was a story where, like, Sonic meets a lot of people and they're all dead and then he moves on.
Yeah, Sonic learns that he accidentally unleashed a thing that's already killed billions.
Yeah, there's that too.
He's like,
that
dang.
aspect.
What Sega game did he play to to practice how to pilot a starship?
Shout out to the random goblin there too. That's that's a goblin.
He's a cool space goblin.
Who decided
Pathfinder-like.
to make Eve quote unquote sexy?
Was she? I mean, a little bit, I guess.
I mean, she definitely wasn't Captain and Mother Brain anymore. That's for sure.
No, she wasn't. Also, this is a really cute ant.
That's a shame he's dead.
He's dead too. The introduction of Eve in this comic was really funny because right before that, she was just preceded by the Balchinians. And she destroyed the Balchinians.
Is that the only thing that's ever remembered about Men in Black 2?
The Balchinians?
The fucking Balchinian?
I remember the house party with the weird ant guys.
Oh, okay. Anytime I ever hear that movie brought up, it's always, it's a Balchinian!
It is one of the more memorable things.
And what do you know? It actually is a Balchinian.
It might be. Was Men in Black 2 in the 2000s, like 2003?
Those aren't Balchinians, dude.
Okay, well, I could believe it because they do be looking like Balchinians.
It was in 2002.
Okay, well, it very well might be. Don't discount it.
Are you gonna make me search Balchinian into my search?
Yeah, why not?
Why am I the research guy today? All right.
I mean, I'm looking at the wiki right now just to double check to see if anybody else has found like these. This is a funny little cameo.
All right. It's in my search history forever. Here is a Balchinian.
Yeah, it's them. It's got to be. Oh, well, I didn't find anything about the Balchinians here, but I did find out that one guy, Bagbar Beeblebrox, might be a reference to Zaphroid Beeblebrox from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy books. The name, at least.
That's too deep in sci-fi for me.
No, I don't remember. I read some of the, like, one or two of them.
I think I watched the
excuse
movie
me.
once, and I was told that wasn't very good.
Yeah, the movie's not good compared to the books, but I don't know.
I like the song with the dolphin.
Yeah. I don't think the movie was bad. It's just I've heard the same sentiment when it's compared to the books.
All I remember about the movie is that a sperm whale gets spawned in orbit and falls down.
I took a screenshot of this scene with Eve. I don't know why.
I'm sad.
She's just like, oh, okay. instead of serving everyone else, now they just listen to you. Okay.
Oh shit, you're right. I'm gonna go jump into a black hole now.
That's what I was talking about. I was like, I guess I'll just go kill myself.
There's no possible way I could turn this around in any way possible.
Sonic can't stand to see a woman in power. This is so terrible.
What's gonna happen to Sally?
We just don't know. Oh, I forgot to mention while we were going over these, the art has been kind of split between amongst these issues between Jay Axer, including the main stories, Steven Butler and Ron Lim and Dawn Best gets her hand in some of these as well. So aside from one of the artists, there's been just a pretty good spread of like good pieces here, like in the main stories.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I liked these alien guys. I again wish there was more with them because I do love their designs a lot. They kind of go really hard, like including the weird like assassin cyborg guy looking dude on the top left of the spread. So cool. And then because Jay Axer did the art for the actual like main story, they were just continuously drawn that well.
He's so cool.
He's so cool.
I forgot to mention it before, but I love the spaceship, Sonic spaceship that's shaped like his head or whatever.
Oh yeah, that was a key part in the race that revered him as a god. They built him a ship to leave on, and it's just his head. Actually, Sonic's head just became the symbol of their whole like civilization. Kind of like the shadow, the black doom and the black arms with the shadow head.
Shadow, look at that cool ship over there. I'm suing them.
You can't use Sonic's head on that.
You hear Oak's voice. There's a time and place for everything.
But not Sonic's head.
The entire race hears that when they're building the ship.
Yeah, that's all I got for 128.
Yeah. Next.
129.
Next.
Yes.
Okay, fuck. This one is a big one because it explains a lot of stuff that happened in past issues, so buckle up. Well, first there's a side story where Sonic races some Star Wars creatures and loses, but not really because some guy cheated. But anyway, other than that, Sonic arrives at the BAM home world called the Wheel World. His ship picks up a signal of someone asking why he's here, and Sonic just sort of rolls with it, so he doesn't get kicked off. So his travels take him to a courthouse. Seneca 9009 is currently on trial. She was part of a science crew who discovered a planet inhabited by people made of metal, which is apparently bad. Go figure. So her crew found a way to de-roboticize the civilization. However, the metal was an evolutionary step which was stopping these people from dying of microbes, so they all died. This mishap resulted in the de-roboticization process getting outlawed. So for some time, her ship continued to survey space and eventually found Mobius. So from their spy cams, because everyone has spy cams, the band get footage of Robotnik and his machine, which, as we know, does the same thing, but backwards. Coincidentally, Sonic sees this footage of Robotnik using the roboticizer on Tails' dad, not realizing what happened to that guy until just now. But anyways, we get to the detail where... we get to the detail that got Seneca 9009 into more trouble, which... she sees Amadeus Prower, Tails' dad, and his spouse finding out what happened, so before Robotnik can pull anything else, 9009 teleports the two onto her spaceship. She uses her outlawed invention to fix Amadeus, although it was the right move this time. She still got 6 space cycles in jail for this, and her request, before going into jail, her request to fix others on Mobius was denied. Thanks, guys. So... at this revelation in the trial, Sonic calls out the bullshit, but just afterward, he also finds that Tails' parents are in the audience. And a reunion happens, and then Sonic resumes his complaints, but the trial continues. We find that after 9009 got out of jail, she tried again to ask to help Mobius. And then she was told to prove her case by showing that non-roboticized Mobians are superior to the roboticized. We then see that one issue we already read where Sonic was turned into a robot and forced to fight Eggman. So now I know why that happened. So that it ends with Sonic defeating Eggman, obviously, which does not look good for 9009, despite Sonic's claim that he would have just beaten Eggman anyway. But saying that didn't do any good. So after being ordered to roboticize everyone on the planet, She got defiant and did the opposite, flashback to that one issue where everybody except Sonic's dad, for some reason, I don't think that was explained yet, got turned back to normal. So, the trial, she's found guilty, blah, 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 death penalty. After the trial, Sonic catches up with Tails' parents and plans to break Seneca 9009 out. But some guys are ordered to take apart Sonic's space vessel. This is thanks to the Zorda's declaration of war. No ships are allowed between the Wheel World and Mobius. So now our gang is stranded, but Seneca 10,050, the head magistrate of the trial. How do you pronounce magistrate? Is that it?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
This person wants to help Sonic break 9009 out. And offers him a new ship if he does. So Sonic breaks in, saves the BEM, and everybody narrow escapes through a portal. Sonic flew a separate way from the others and makes his way home finally. The end. Thoughts?
Yep. So we get. I mean, this is a big one. We get reintroduced to Tails' parents. We found out what happened to him because now I don't know what the reason was that the comics didn't go into they established that he got roboticized, Amadeus, Tails' dad, but we never really see what happened to him. So I'm curious of what they plan. Like if this was, I mean, I don't know how far in advance they plan. Like Sonic would be in space, have space adventures, and then meet Tails' parents in space. But like, it was an interesting plot hole to tackle, and the way they did it, I thought was really creative and cool. Personally, I also really like that they bridge back all the way. So this is probably where I got confused when we had that conversation last time where we're like, oh, they explained what happened to the Mobians. It was here. This is what happened. I totally don't know why I had the future sight or like thought that this had already happened, like this explanation happened somewhere. But yeah, here it is.
It was initially a little strange because back when that happened, it's like, oh, everyone's just normal again. We don't know why. And it kind of comes off as an ass pull. It arguably is. But
yeah,
I do appreciate this story for like going into depth and explaining it. And also not just an explanation, but this is a compelling story in its own right. Learning about the struggle of this alien who just wanted to help and whatnot.
And it's cool because it actually ties into we saw the BEM before. Like we saw this design.
Right.
And it was during that cage match between Robotnik and Sonic. And it was really cool of Carl Bollers to be like, hey, remember this thing? Well, it wasn't just a one-off. It actually tied into the great. I thought that was really well done. I think it was really neat to me personally. And you're right. It was just a compelling way for them to like. This was probably the better of the whole set because not only do they introduce this new character, a new set of beings, but they're like, here's more than just 2 pages with them. Like there's this whole, like you get a little bit on their society, very bare bones stuff, but like you get a little bit on it and you get a little bit like how are they connected to the greater world? And I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Because like on one end, it was kind of an ass pull to wrap it up this way. They bring everybody back to normal, and that's like, oh, it was a setup for something, and then they just sort of gave up. But they tried to be pretty cool about it by bringing back those dudes from the cage match and closing up a bunch of stuff. So I thought it was all right.
Yep. It was a very solid. Yeah, I liked it. I also liked. I also liked the designs of these aliens. I don't know why, but they're very eye catching to me. They kind of remind me of Lilo and Stitch, almost. I guess if that makes sense to you.
Because I look at these things, and out of all like the 50 different alien designs that we just had this session, these look like Sonic characters the most. I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
And fun fact: this will be the last time that Carl Bollers writes under the name Benny Lee. So as you saw. We haven't really talked about it, but like throughout these issues, there's been a flip-flop between Benny Lee and Carl Bollers.
I did feel like over time, it started feeling like way less distinct. You know, like at the start, like, oh, Betty Lee, it's gonna be more silly, but then later it just felt like this is like the same sort of tone. Like, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I can't believe I didn't bring this up right away, but like, dude, it's Star Wars. Like, it's literally the episode 1 pod racing is happening. Like, the Blowjob Brothers are there and everything. It's crazy. I was like, this is so cool. I've never noticed that before in any of my previous playthrough or read-throughs.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that first story started with a tip of the hat to Star Wars Episode 1.
Yeah.
Nothing but Peak referenced in here.
Nothing but Peak Brothers. I like this ongoing joke throughout these last few issues where I guess Sonic's name was translated to Sonic the Hedgehog, one word, in all the and every time that any of the alien races said Sonic's name, they would always say Sonic the Hedgehog, like one word. It was really good. I don't know. It got a kick from me. Again, it's something else I didn't notice before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I also enjoy the fact that as they were talking about like what happened to to Amadeus, they put back that one original comic scene where he gets transformed, the one that was drawn by I think Dave Manick. And they're just like, here, look, do you see this little ball? It's the hidden spy cam. I'm like, it's the Batman cam.
I did forget to mention, is it this one? Give me one second. I'm sorry. Yes. I like how it establishes that Mobius's moon is blown up.
Yeah, Sonic Adventure 2 happened. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it happened. Are we going to forget about that later on? Probably.
Just like the games.
No, I think they keep the moon. I think that's just consistent.
I just built the moon back.
They made a metal.
Just
That
like
is
Sonic
something
X.
I was going to say, I know about that in Sonic X, that Eggman just builds the moon back.
I was joking. I didn't know this.
Yeah, no, they did.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Finish this up, Bob.
Alright. So 1:30, last one. Sonic comes home, blows up some swap bus just before he thinks he can kill St. John and Hershey. Eggman is flabbergasted to find his rule over the planet is suddenly contested by his old rival. Sonic arrives at Naho, which appears far more technologically advanced than he's used to. But nevertheless, he reunites with King Acorn, Knuckles, and the Chaotix, who all believe Sonic to be dead. King Acorn can walk again, by the way. Sonic reports that Eggman has atomic bombs, then Uncle Chuck appears and reunites with Sonic. Sonic then goes around to catch up with Sally, Tails, Amy, and the rest. Eventually, everybody discusses war plans and solutions with the president of Station Square. Tensions rise as he discusses blowing things up, blah, blah, blah. And then Hankman. He hijacks the signal touting that not only does he have Swap Bus preparing to break the Robotropolis barrier to release radiation, he also has nukes pointing in 2 different directions. He set up a triple threat. To be continued.
I like how Eggman's back to swap bots again.
Yeah, those are cool.
When did the swap bots leave?
Well, not the last issue, before Sonic left, he had the E-Series doing all his stuff.
I do. Okay, so we get introduced to a couple new characters. We get introduced to Adam, and we get introduced to M. By the way, Adam and Eve, if you didn't catch that, Robotnik sure is setting himself up for failure. So M is cool. I really like M's design a lot. I didn't read a lot of comics, but this looks like a Jim Lee character, and it's really sick to me. I don't know, like maybe it's not as cool to people who actually read comic books, but me, who was like, I've never read a comic book in my life, but damn, she looks like somebody straight out of X-Men or something. Like I was like, this is sick. Like, this is a 1990s like superhero character.
She just shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah, she shows up. So we find out it's been a year since Sonic died, quote unquote. I also really, really like Adam's, like, I guess the swap bot he takes control of, which just looks like an alien from Alien, a xenomorph. Also, Hershey gets a really cool new haircut. I really like it. I'm all here for it. Dragon Ball Z Hershey. The first 3 pages are drawn by Jay Axer, and then the rest of it is Stephen Butler. This was a good. I have a lot of panels. I just took screenshots of. I really like this this panel. This intense close up. I'm home, and then immediately followed by everybody cheering like yay! Oh, I've said this before, but I really love the clothes designs on a lot of these Mobians. Like even background Mobians look super cool to me. I'm a big fan. I love this era of the comics where people just stand out, even if they're like, they put a lot of people in the background, A, and B, the people in the background have cool designs. And even the ones in the foreground have cool designs, like the military outfits they've got, the little tactical vests. I love it. I'm here. Listen, I know it's edgy, but that's, you know what? It activates some kind of monkey brain of mine. I don't know. Also, we got some really good Eggman faces. They changed the design of the bears, the bear guards. Remember how they're like super buff, big dudes? Now they're just normal Sonic characters, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it.
They got off the venom.
They stopped doping. I really like this spread. We got a new, like I mentioned, the new status quo, new knothole. Knothole's been like advanced, futurized. We see the first inklings of that with like the metal tree houses with the bridges connecting and escalators and stuff like that. Keep in mind from this page, if you look at it, you're like, oh, is that all? No, there's more off screen because they'll establish that later. What else did I really like? I loved this. This was great. Knuckles and Sonic seeing each other again in True Blue, and I think the first words exchanged like, I heard you were dead.
I like the 2 panels, so I screen capped them together.
Yeah, they're good. I'll save that one. I really liked this issue specifically. Like, it just hits the ground running. Oh, we get our Uncle Chuck redesign. The new Uncle Chuck design is in this. This is going to be the design for him for the rest of the series, question mark. I only say question mark because I don't 100% remember if he gets another redesign or not, but this is relatively I think this is what we're going to have. I love this. I love Uncle Chuck. He deserves clothes.
It's pretty good design.
Also, tearing up, seeing each other. I loved it. I love this. This issue is great. This issue is so good that I went ahead and I ordered a copy of this issue off of eBay, because I was like, I forgot how much of like the things in this issue are like, I still have it in my head. Oh yeah, Sally is kneeling in front of it's supposed to be like vines, but it just makes him look like a veiny statue for some reason because they're all the same color as the stone. Somebody in the coloring department didn't do something right, unless that was supposed to be like the design. I think maybe that's the design.
Yeah, I don't know. I've skimmed through this. It does kind of look like it could be a coloring mistake. I'm not sure.
I see we've got full long hair Sally now.
Huh?
No, I said I think it was a coloring mistake. So.
Oh.
Yeah. You got long hair Sally now.
Oh yeah. She's time passed. She's got long hair again. They gave the woodland creatures like guns. I'm here. Listen, this is like core memory stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Core memory guns.
Guns.
I am Turok.
Also, I do really like this bit where the guards are like pushing back the paparazzi, and they're like, "Were you raised in a kennel?" And he's talking to a dog man. And I'm like, that's fucked up. Is that a slur? Is that racism? I feel like that's not okay.
No, that's racist.
Yeah, that's got to be racism. Oh, we got a couple more new things. New redesigns for Rotor. The new permanent redesigns for Rotor and Bunny. That's pretty hype.
Give everyone jackets.
Give everybody. It's the early 2000s. Jackets were in. Something else I'm going to tell you to keep in mind is Antoine. Just in general. Just.
Even the story itself was teasing it.
Yeah. Just there's something's coming up the plumbing. Poor Antoine's in a bind. He's got a real stick up his ass. Something happened in the last year.
He's got a scar.
He's really no nonsense. He's kind of an asshole.
We missed his sword fight with Amuro Ray.
Oh jeez, I might know where this is going, but I'm not sure. Okay.
Yeah, you probably know Dorko. Maybe actually, I don't remember 100%. But yeah, I mean, like Castle Acorn becomes like a high tech like command center. Like there's just like we have literally started a new status quo for the comic. Like when I said they were jumping into a new status quo in this next set, I mean like. This is now what's gonna be what most people remember the Sonic comics as. Like if we're like looking to divide things between here's the classic Sonic comics and here's like what is gonna be like the definitive like this is the Sonic Archie comics that people know about in the like from the 2000s on. This is it. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I know there was something that was reading the thanks Ken Pender's blog as I usually do, and then with this issue they wrote a little something that I'll just read it out. This arc will establish the new status quo for the final stretch of the Bowlers Penders era, which are easily 30 of the most controversial issues in Archie Sonic history for both valid and asinine reasons.
Yep.
This keeps happening.
Oh boy.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot happening here. Good, bad, and confusing. But I'm very excited. I want you guys to go into this with the same mindset you did with these new ones, where you find something that was more fun than you expected it to be. And I want to hear what people think.
We'll see.
With that, we shall.
So we shall see.
I'd like to hear some closing thoughts.
Who goes first? I liked it overall. I wasn't really big on everybody dies twice, but I liked some of the art for this a lot, and I liked the part where Sonic eventually does come home. So it was alright overall.
I did like it because it was just kind of like wacky outer space stories with Sonic.
Yeah, it was a fun like trip through space.
Though it does kind of have that sort of problem again, where like we're just getting like Sonic and new characters, and we're not seeing any of the cast. Although by the end of this, we see why, because they couldn't exactly do stories without giving away the time skip. So, but putting that aside, like I had a good time reading these. Yeah,
it's all right.
It's okay. I'm excited to see that. I know that in the next few issues I've been I know are like going to be connected to the same story. So.
Also, I guess it's interesting that one that Knuckles and gang are hanging out with everybody else, and then there's also the plot point of Eggman's taking over Angel Island.
Yeah, I don't want to reveal why, like what happens with that, but that is a pretty big plot thing that happened here. Is that Knuckles and gang are just going to be part of the main squad for a while, because I think part of that whole consolidating Knuckles story stuff is this was probably their way to approach that. And the good news is, for a lot of these issues, I've already kind of subdivided the what we're going to be reading for the next couple of episodes, which we'll cover in the next ones, 131 to 137, which will be the next 2 story sagas, and then 138 through 144, which will be culminating with probably, I believe that's where the lowest point of the comic, in quotation marks, is going to be like the fan dubbed pit of hell of the Sonic time quality timeline. But we'll see.
Into the pit.
All right, Harv, any closing thoughts?
Mario.
Oh, understandable. All right, yeah, well, thanks for joining us. If nobody else has anything else, I think we're good. We're done. That's all we've got for this. We're looking forward to the new era of Sonic the Hedgehog.
And as I believe, you have our next issues already planned out.
That's
Correct. Yep.
Let's see how we do those ones.
The fall of Carl Bowlers, the rise of new talents, and the future of Sonic the Hedgehog. Check it out here on It Always Goes Back to Sonic in the next couple episodes.
It's issue 131 to 137, by the way.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.